Welcome, my friends, to the Horror Syndicate's Werewolf Wednesday show. I am Seth, and the goal of this show is to shine a light on every single werewolf film ever made and talk about it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And trust me, there are some really, really bad werewolf films out there that I'm not looking forward to revisiting, so I'll probably schedule them way later. But tonight I am going to be talking about it's like 2022 to 2023 film. It's called Scream of the Wolf here in the United States, and I believe elsewhere it's called Wolf Manor. I believe it was released as Wolf Manor in 2022, and then it got a wider release in 2023. Um, it is available to watch on Amazon Prime and on Tubi. So if you can handle having ads break up your movie from time to time, if you want to check it out, if you haven't seen it, um, check it out. I'll let you know if I recommend it or not. But yeah, so uh, that is what I will be talking about tonight. So getting into it, what is Scream of the Wolf, aka Wolf Manor, about? It is um, about a film crew, a small ragtag group of filmmakers who are in a place called Talbot Manor. Very creative, I know. And they are shooting a vampire film there. Now, the lead actor, the guy playing the vampire, is an Asian actor who be um, used to be well known for these type of roles in his heyday, kind of similar to Peter Vincent from Fright Night. Um, and the director is not too thrilled with the material and doing a indie B grade horror film. But the producer who's calling the shots is just trying to get him through these final few days. And of course, as they are working on the pickups, they are taken out one by one by a werewolf or werewolves. I will not tell you if there is just one or if there are many, because I am a dickhead like that. So this is a film where I can say I, it's not great. Okay, there are things about it that I like, and then there are things that I don't like. Um, you know, I did come up with a system uh, where I had 10 categories from acting, directing, cinematography, writing, music, uh, production design, effects, werewolf design, werewolf action, and entertainment. And then I added all those scores up to come up with a final score out of 100. Um, and be warned, I'm a little generous with my scores, so I will get to them in a bit. But yeah, this film is, while it's not great, I can give it the backhanded compliment of saying that I've seen way worse than this. So that doesn't really say a lot, but I just had to put that out there because I have seen way worse. So uh, getting into the pros, and by the way, I will get to the comments in a little bit. I just want to kind of get through this movie first. Uh, so I'll just bear with me here, okay? So the pros. Um, I actually kind of dig the werewolf design. It's not the greatest. It's not my type of werewolf, right? It's um, for those of you who have been watching this show for a while, you would know that my type is like type of like the Howling or Dog Soldiers, um, or something like that. But um, this one, I don't think it's too bad. I think this looks pretty good. I think the makeup effects look pretty good on it. Uh, Basically, what this werewolf is it's kind of like it's sort of like almost like an in between in a lot of ways. In between like your standard Wolfman look and then um, your more Howland type look, especially with the way that the body is. But I think this werewolf design is not too bad. Um, it, and I have a grade for that coming up as well. Some other pros I will say are the werewolf action itself. The werewolves are um, they're vicious and as brutal as they should be. They don't take the despite some of my cons going to be the humor in this film. They definitely take the werewolf action, the whole werewolf stuff seriously. It's kind of like what I talk about with like John Landis's American Werewolf in London, where it's like the humor comes from the characters and the way they interact with each other and how they react to the situations. But when the werewolf stuff happens in that film, it's full on horror. Um, it doesn't poke fun of the werewolf stuff at all. It doesn't make a comedy out of it. So, and I think it's got that here where this film does have I do have major issues with the attempts at comedy in this, but I think the werewolf stuff is actually pretty solid. Some other pros, I think overall it's not a badly made movie per se. I think as far as like direction, cinematography, and editing, um, it's all I think it's all fine. It's all fine. These people, know what they're doing. They're perfectly capable. So I think all that stuff is fine. The score for the film, I don't know who the composer is. I forgot to look that up, but it's unremarkable, but it's serviceable. I think there's aspects of it that really fit with the film itself. I think there's one moment where the score just it sounded really good with what was happening on the screen, and it was actually a pretty cool shot in the movie or pretty cool sequence in the movie where you see on the right hand of the screen, there's a character he's looking at something, and then the camera pans, and it's the werewolf, and he has his back to him, and the werewolf turns around. You see the moonlight in the background, um, and then the werewolf confronts the guy basically. But I thought that was really cool how it was done, and I think everything worked well together. So I think on a technical level, everything is fine. Nothing um, groundbreaking. Nothing, as far as direction, cinematography, and score go. I've seen way, way worse, and I think they're all serviceable here. So those are some of my pros. Getting into some of the cons of the movie, uh, I mean, it comes really down to the script, and uh, so there's a couple issues here. One of them that I already mentioned is the humor in this film, the attempts of humor and the references to especially American Werewolf in London. Um, it just didn't work. Like for me, the humor did not land with me in this movie. There was a moment or two where I did chuckle a little bit. Uh, However, um, for the most part, the humor just didn't it didn't work at all. And then also it was a little too much with the American Werewolf in London references. I will say, particularly in the beginning, there are two characters um, who are um, they're journalists. They're on the way to the Talbot Manor uh, to write an article uh, about the making of the movie, and uh, the cab driver leaves them at one spot, and they go into a bar that's like, and they make a reference to the slaughtered lamb, and they go inside and there's someone playing darts, um, and it was just a little, it was a little too. It was just a little too much, I think. So that stuff didn't work for me. And I think that was the major issue is because it kind of created like this battle of tone for the movie because the werewolf stuff is really good and then the humor just kind of feels out of place. Um, so yeah, those are that's my biggest issue. Um, the other thing is just the characters, they're okay. There's only like one normal person in this whole group, really, and that's the assistant director. Um, and everyone else is just kind of weird in their own way. It, it's hard to um, kind of root for the main character in this, especially when he does something towards the end. Um, he takes another character and pushes that character to the werewolf, um, which kind of makes him like unlikable, like why he would do that in that moment. But yeah, I mean the characters are just kind of, I don't know, they're okay, but they're not great at all. I have a hard time remembering names. Um, there's a couple moments with some of the characters that are decent. But yeah, so anyway, those are my cons. I will actually check the comments now, and then I'll go through my 10 categories and give you my final score for the movie. Also, I noticed that I had the uh, Wi-Fi signal bar pop up a couple times. So if I'm not coming through at all, or if you've had a difficult time hearing me, just let me know. Um, okay, I missed quite a few comments. Sean Sheridan says, I won't be joining on Tuesday streams anymore. It's 2 to 3 in the morning here, and it's too late for me. Werewolf Wednesday and Sunday show is fine. Oh, well, that's okay, man. You can always catch our shows after. Um, as far as the Sunday night ones, I'm not sure. That's kind of like iffy. It depends on Nate's schedule. But glad you're at least sticking with the Werewolf Wednesday. It's a good choice, my friend. He also says, as for the movie, I watched a bit of it. The low budget and the comedy put me off, being honest. Low budget doesn't always hurt a movie if it has a good script. Halloween proves that, but couldn't get into it. Not for me. Yeah, understandable. Uh, the low budget of it didn't bother me at all. I thought it looked fine for what it was, and it did look a little professional, I think. But yeah, totally with you on the comedy thing. That's kind of what hurts it for me. I've seen the movie a couple times now. I have the DVD of it. Um, I rented it when it first came out, and then I've watched it twice on Prime Video. So um, I think it's watchable, but it is hard to it's hard to get into because of the humor, and that's a shame because if you checked out early, you missed, I think, some decent werewolf stuff. You know what I mean? Um, Scott says, "Hello, Seth. How are you today? I'm doing good, Scott. How are you, my friend? Hope all is well. Hope all is well with your dog." Sean Sheridan, you have probably seen every werewolf movie ever made. Not yet. I'm working on it. That's my goal. I'm at 124 right now. One away from 125, and then I'm going to do an article on the horseandnaked.com ranking 125 werewolf films. But yeah, I want to do this show, like just talk about it all, bring it all to bring light to it all, and I would like to even cover like some books and comics, and some true to life lore and myths about werewolves in our history. I think that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, I just want to. This show is lichen friendly. We are lichen friendly. Is Scream of the Wolf a female version of a werewolf film or a male version? Um, I'm pretty sure it's male. Um, but you'll have to watch the film to find out. Uh, did the sign of the werewolves looks like a cross between Bigfoot and the mountain lion? Yeah, I guess I could. I guess I could see that. I'll pull the picture up again in a few minutes. Uh, Matt Torrance says, Seth, my friend is really worried about his wife because she thinks he's a chicken. I told him to take her to a psychiatrist, but he says he needs the eggs. Got some dad jokes. Keep sending them, Matt. Keep sending them. Kathy says werewolf design almost has a demon character to it. Yeah. Yeah, and it's I think I'm trying to think I don't think I actually saved that one picture. There was another picture that I thought I uploaded, but I guess I didn't. But yeah, like yeah, I mean I guess I could kind of see like that demon type look to it. It's just weird like on the side profile. It looks a little weird like that, but I think front on it looks decent. Um, yeah. Whoop. Somehow there we go. We'll look for the trailer. Okay. Or watch it blind. Oh, I mean, I guess if you're watching this, you already know some stuff anyway. So, yeah, look for the trailer. I think if you like werewolves, it's not too bad. How would you rate this movie? I will get to my rating and actually pretty shortly. I'll go through all 10 of my categories briefly. I won't talk too much. Um, I watched a lot of werewolf movies in my time. I've seen quite a few werewolves that don't look like werewolf at all. The more, yeah, yeah. There's tons of different there's tons of different. Well, because of how many werewolf movies, there's a shitload of different designs. Some of them don't work in comparison to some other ones. Every time I ask a question, Rand, so he gets a little bit rude towards me. I don't understand why I didn't do anything wrong. Um, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. And I think maybe you're just kind of that's Ray. That's the best. That's the best I can say. Yeah. Uh, don't take it personal. Um, let's see. Where am I at? I'm looking on YouTube, and there's a 1974 film called Cry the Wolf. What are the chances this new work movie is a remake of that film? I don't think it is. What do you think of the TV show called Cheaters? Do you think it's a good TV show or a bad TV show? I used to watch it all the time when I was a kid. Uh, Never heard of it. Do you personally believe Little Red Riding Hood is a werewolf story or not? Because I read a lot of versions, so I do believe it is. Yeah, I think it is a werewolf story. I would say so. Personally, why do you think they make? I don't know. Kathy says, "Can we see your list?" Yes, I'm planning on doing the 125 list for my 100th article. I'm at like 94 right now. My last article went up a few days ago. It's uh, I ranked every episode from the first season of the X Files. Um, so I'm going to do a few more. I have to do a few more articles, and then my 125 ranking uh, will be my 100th article. Um, so yeah, let's get back to the topic at hand now that I'm caught up, or at least I thought I was caught up. When you get a chance to have to look on the internet and look at what type of werewolf is the. Okay, I will. Okay. Um, so getting into my categories and my scores, acting 5 out of 10. Um, Everyone was fine. Uh, the I will say like uh, the less tolerable ones actually die first. Um, so yeah, for the main group, they're not bad, not great. No one took me out of it. I'll just say that. So 5 out of 10. Directing 5 out of 10. I thought it was again. I covered a lot of this earlier. Everything I thought was fine. It was, well, didn't mean to go to that one. Um, so acting, writing, or not writing. Jesus Christ, acting, directing, and cinematography. Um, I felt were okay at best. Nothing awful, nothing great. Just decent. Writing, I gave a 3 out of 10 because um, there's something about it that just didn't work for me. Um, I think it's the comedy side of it because they took the horror seriously. The werewolf stuff is really good, like I've said, but it's the attempts at humor and especially like how they have the characters behave and react to certain things. It just doesn't match up with what we see with the werewolf side of it. The way the characters behave. It's just um, it feels written. They don't feel like natural people. They don't react. There's one scene where a character comes in with the throat gashed and slashed or whatever, and he claps on the floor and dies. And all the people are just, I don't know, no one really reacts to it. They just kind of, some want to get back onto making the movie. And then there's, the one character, the assistant director, who's like the only normal person of the group, really. She's trying to get a signal with her cell phone, but even she's not reacting properly. So I think um, the writing is the big flaw for this movie, in my opinion. Um, as with the directing and acting and all that, the music and production design serviceable. Again, like I seen worse. There's nothing that really stands out as far as that. Now getting into uh, the final few uh, effects, I give 8 out of 10. I think um, not only with the makeup effects for the werewolf or werewolves. I won't let you know that one because I'm a dick. But uh, they look really good. Some of the other gore, body parts and all that are throughout this film look really good. So effects wise, 8 out of 10. Werewolf design, I give 7 out of 10. It's not my preferred werewolf, but I don't think it looks too bad. And I'll try to let me pull up another picture. Um, I just I don't hate it. It's not my preferred design, but I definitely do not hate it. Um, yeah, so I give it a 7 out of 10. Um, uh, werewolf action, I gave an 8 out of 10. I think the werewolf stuff is really good in this. There's nothing like iconic or anything like that, but I think the werewolf is appropriately savage and brutal in this. And I think there's some really cool moments with the werewolves and how it's shot, and especially with the way they show the werewolf in a few moments uh, in the foreground, and the source of light is the full moon from the background. Um, I, yeah, I think the werewolf stuff is the best thing about this film. Um, and so, entertainment wise, I give it a 5 out of 10 because uh, you know the werewolf design, werewolf action, and the effects are really good. Um, but what really hurts this film is the script, and it makes it hard, I think, to kind of um, get through the film itself. I feel like because like Sean mentioned in the comments about how he started it, but then he turned it off, and it's like, yeah, the the beginning, the first half of this film is so sort of off-putting with its attempts at humor, and so you kind of miss out on some of the good stuff that happens, or stuff I think is decent with the werewolves a little bit later on. Um, so it's a 5 out of 10. It's a middle of the road werewolf movie. Um, and so my total, adding all those categories up, it came to 57 out of 100, um, which I guess is fair. I think I liked it a little bit more than that, I would say. No, maybe that's about right. Um, yeah, so there it is. There is my thoughts and opinions on Scream of the Wolf, aka Wolf Manor. Um, go back to comments for a little bit, and then I will bounce. Um, will Underworld be on your list? Yes, all 5 Underworld films will be ranked. So my list is including lots of different things with an asterisk. So I'm including films that do have werewolves in them. So um, you know, even stuff like Underworld, where it's vampires and werewolves, it still counts because it's got werewolves in it. I still have the Monster Squad on it. It's got a werewolf in it. It's not about a werewolf, but it's got a werewolf in it, and he's a prominent character. Um, Van Helsing, same thing. Werewolves are, um, yeah, there's werewolves in it. Then there's stuff that I included that maybe don't necessarily count. Stuff like She Wolf of London, which was really about the disease of lycanthropy, or stuff like Brotherhood of the Wolf, where you know the entire film is set in the period of time in France when especially at a time when humans were very superstitious, and the werewolf, the werewolf myths were really really prominent in this time period. And so the characters believed that it was a werewolf, but it turns out that it wasn't a werewolf. But it's included on the list. I've heard complaints from previous lists about me not including it. Um, Same with She Wolf of London. And then there's other stuff too. Wolf of Snow Hollow from 2022, or was it 2020? I can't remember when Wolf of Snow Hollow came out, but spoiler alert, it's not actually a werewolf, which is a shame, but I'll talk about that. But yeah, there's a lot of different stuff that's included on this big list. I'm throwing in everything that I've seen anyway. What do you think of the audiobook story of American Wolf of London I told you about last week? Book version. You're gonna have to refresh my memory, my friend. My godfather went surfing yesterday, and he was surfing with some dolphins. That's cool. Is this a movie you will add to your collection? I have it. I don't think it's over here. I had it out the other day. Yeah, I got it. It's it's right over there on my shelf. Yeah. But I mean, I have tons of werewolf films. Like, I'll just buy werewolf films blind. If I see one at a store, all right, I'm getting it. That's how I found Late Phases. It was just like a blind buy at Walmart, and then it's like in my top 5 werewolf films. I did research on Ginger Snaps werewolf ones. You get bitten or scratched by this wolf, you can't turn back into a human. It can be killed by a knife or a gun or a car. You don't need silver. Yeah, yep. All that is true. I don't know how I feel about the kind that can't turn back. Um, yeah, I don't know. So anyway, I don't recall any comments here where anyone has actually mentioned that they have seen this besides Sean Sheridan. So have you seen Scream of the Wolf, aka Wolf Manor, from, I guess, 2022, when it was released as Wolf Manor, I guess. 2023 as Scream of the Wolf. Yeah, so I have covered everything about this movie. I will hang around just for a little bit longer, and then I will get my ass out of here. But sorry, I was just looking. There we go. Next week, I will be talking about the 2006 film Skinwalkers. This one I've always liked. I haven't watched it in a couple of years, so kind of looking forward to rewatching that to talk about that. But that it will be next week, next Wednesday, will be Skinwalkers from 2006. Tonight has been Scream of the Wolf, aka Wolf Manor. Film crew get themselves attacked by a werewolf or werewolves. I shall not say if it's just singular or plural. But yes, it's an okay movie. There's things I liked and things I didn't like. I think on the werewolf side, it's pretty damn good. On the everything else side, there's issues. There's issues. So if you like werewolf films, if you have low standards, check it out. Um, Scott says, I wonder who the werewolf was that bit Ginger. All I know it was definitely a male. Some people reckon it's an elderly werewolf or someone. Or yeah, I mean that would be kind of interesting. They could definitely do a prequel, another prequel, an in between cool. I need to go to Amazon and search for movies, otherwise I'll never see them. Yeah. Well, when I have my 125 werewolf film list, you can have that list and you can go on Amazon and as you buy them, just check them off the list. There you go. Print out my list when it gets published and then buy every single werewolf film. Um, it's Ginger Snaps. I would have loved to see a scene when Ginger got attacked, but with the werewolf point of view, watching her. Yeah, that would be cool. It's always neat sometimes when they show werewolf point of views. Um, Alrighty, well, no more comments, so I am going to leave for the night. Thank you for everyone who watched. Sean Sheridan, Scott Walker, Kathy. Um, I'm scrolling up. I feel like I'm missing a couple people. Matt Torrance, who came in with a dad joke. I feel like I missed someone, but maybe I didn't. Well, thank you to all of you people who I just named, to the people who may watch this after the fact. But yeah, I appreciate you stopping by for the Werewolf Wednesday show every Wednesday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Uh, I'm going to be talking about every single werewolf film, every single film made, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And like I mentioned before, there's a lot of ugly in this subgenre. So buckle up. But yeah, I plan on going through every single one of them and talking about them. So anyway, I hope everyone has a great one.